Hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be going over one of the decks of Star Wars Unlimited that I played yesterday in a sealed event. I went out to Sanctuary Books and Games. They had a casual sealed event, and let me tell you, I'll go over the deck that I pulled, some of the cards that I really liked. I'm also going to be unpacking the promo pack for the week, and also this booster that I got as a reward for winning one of my games. Unfortunately, I had to leave early, so I wasn't able to finish out the competition. But it was really, really cool. So let's go open some packs. Then we'll go over the deck and we'll talk more about this game. All right, so here we are. So we have the promo pack. This is a little sneak peek of the deck I played, but let's open these packs first. This is the weekly play booster. So you get these for going to the whatever organized events your shop has. So first we have a resupply. Really cool. This is actually a very good card, especially if you're looking to ramp up. We also have R2D2 in a promo. Let's go. I mean, he's a common, but I love R2D2. And then the last one, Luke's lightsaber. This is also a common, but as you can see, hyperspace. Yeah, this was a good pack. Nice little pack. Cards that I'm probably gonna end up using in a deck somewhere. All right, let's open up the pack for the week. And I'll probably, now that I have a better setup, I'll probably be unboxing my stuff. So let's see. All right, we have Jyn Erso as our leader. We have Administrative Tower with a token behind. So next we have Open Fire, Mercenary Company, Restored Arc 170, Infiltrator skill, pretty good upgrade. Battlefield Marine, Rebel Pathfinder, Snowtrooper Lieutenant. I really like this card. It's probably going to be something I run on my villain decks. Snapshot Reflexes. We have a Hyperspace Super Laser Technician. This one's also pretty good. When this is defeated, you may put this unit as a resource and ready it. So you get a lot of bang for that buck. Base Malbus, prepare for takeoff. Force Surrender, Black One. Oh, this is cool. This is a legendary card. That's amazing. Uh, and then we also have Smoke and Cinders. We'll talk more about this card in a minute. So really, really good pack, I think. So I did go check online. Black One. It is a legendary from the set, but it's only worth around $5 or so. So we'll see how that fluctuates. But all right, so let's talk about the deck that I ended up playing. So I pulled three different Director Krennics from my 6 random packs, which is wild. I went ahead and paired that up with the Catacombs of Kadera. So, Director Krennic, for each friendly damage unit we have out there, we get +1 +0. And then on his when you bring him out, he has Restore 2, which means that every time he attacks, he gets to heal 2 from the base. And then his effect continues of each damage friendly unit gets that +1 buff. Um, so overall, maybe not the best. Maybe not the best, but I really want. I mean, I have 3 of them that I pulled from that one pack, from those 3 packs. So like, I felt like I had to use them. And then just from everything else that I opened, red seemed like the most viable version. So all right, let's talk about some of the unique units that I ended up pulling for this and I ended up playing with. So we have Admiral Ozol, 2 costs, 2 and 3, Imperial official. The reason this guy was actually pretty good is because of his action. Play an Imperial unit from your hand, paying its cost, but it enters ready. So this is helping you ramp up. So even though you lose his own attack, I mean, he doesn't have a lot of attack, so that's not really what I was using him for. I was able to do this a couple of times at the beginning of the turn. So like my opponent wouldn't have anything to ready because each opponent may ready a unit after this. So that was very good to kind of build up. One of my favorite cards that I played with yesterday, Seventh Sister, 5 cost, 3/6, Force Imperial Inquisitor. Of course, it's got Saboteur, so that means it can go through shields. And also, we have when this unit deals combat damage to an opponent's base, you may deal 3 damage to a ground unit of that opponent control. So very good. You're pretty much getting 6 damage out every swing, 3 to the base, 3 to a unit. Really good to damage ground units that are around that you're not going without taking any damage yourself, right? Next, we have the fifth brother who has gains raid 1 for each damage done to him. So that's a +1, um, +0. Now, keep in mind that all these guys are getting, if they get damage, they get the buff from Krennic, right? So yeah, I mean Krennic's buff really helps these guys out. And then on attack, I may deal 1 damage to this unit and deal 1 damage to another ground unit. So like, if you really want to get some damage out there, you're gonna do that. So, and then last we have Lieutenant Chilton. Um, I really didn't use his extra ability. I mainly had him on there because I needed more Imperial officers, but also just for the Sentinel part of it, right? Have people. So I would try to buff him up with some experience or whatever the case, and then because he can reveal up to 4 blue cards, and then get some experience tokens on this unit. Now, I was actually never able to buff him up, but the Sentinel at least helped draw a little bit of attention from the base. So that's kind of my unique units that I was really like that really kind of came through yesterday. Now, as far as my space units, I didn't have a lot to pick from, but the TIE Advance really helped out. 4 costs, 3/2, and when played, give 2 experience tokens to another friendly Imperial unit. My deck was, as you saw, mostly Imperial from the characters that I would want to buff up and stick around. Also, Tile and Fighter, cheap cost, easy to get out there. Also, we have the Imperial Interceptor. This one's really cool. I like that it deals damage to other space units. And then the last one was really just as I needed more space units, and I had the disabling Fang Fighter. I didn't really get to use its ability much yesterday, but yeah, these were kind of my space units. Unfortunately, I didn't get a lot more when it came to space units. Um, all right, let me go over some non-unique units that I ended up putting here on my deck because I pulled them and they were good. I felt they were good enough cards. Now all this stuff doesn't fully vibe with Krennic, but I mean they work pretty well. Overall, uh, Viper droid, a probe droid, when played, look at an opponent's hand. That's always helpful. The surgical droid, it's blue, and when on attack, I may heal 1 damage from another unit. So this makes him a target, so easy to absorb damage. Because people want to get rid of him quickly. And this isn't really for me to attack. It's really more to because I'm damaging my units to put, so Krennic's effect will play out. I'm trying to make sure that they stay alive. A trooper, always good. Pretty cheap cost, easy to kill, but it's also pretty strong. The Scout Bike Pursuer. This has grit, which really like this. The grit combined with Krennic's ability really buffs him up, right? Because I can get him up to 2 damage, and he's up pretty quickly to around 3 or so. He's got a good defense, and then the Cell Block Guard. Although he's not very strong, he does have Sentinel. As far as he can take a little bit of damage. So those were my non-unique units that were very kind of thematic. Like I would consider playing a lot of these on a Krennic deck. Um, all right, let's look at what I call my filler units. These were really just because I pulled them. So I had Wolf. Um, he's French. He has a clone. He's a saboteur, so he's not like, mainly use him to get rid of shields. He's still pretty. It's pretty good. Pretty good card. Thematically, it didn't really play with any of the stuff. Right. It was more of Imperial stuff and troopers. Then also, actually, this card. Every time I pulled it, I put it down as a resource because I was never gonna play upgrades on this thing. I didn't have upgrades for this thing, so this was my resource. This was really kind of a giveaway. Wilderness Fighter. This guy's pretty good. He comes in with a shield. He's got a pretty good damage, so Krennic really could beef him up a little bit. I think I got him up to like 4 in one game. This guy was just kind of there as well. I did have the initiative for a lot of the turn, but once my board got pretty big, he really, this one's kind of a filler card. So if I pull this early, I would probably put him as a resource. And same with this guy. At least he has the trooper keyword, but I wasn't really using this much. It does gain raid when we have another a red card. But usually, like, I would rather bring in one of my the fifth sister than the seventh sister or the fifth brother, something like that. Volunteer soldier, not bad for the cost. It gets raid 1. It's got the trooper keyword. Unfortunately, not an imperial. So yeah, these were just kind of cards that I needed to fill in with units. I like to have a certain balance of units and events. I'm still trying to work that out, especially on sealed events. So I didn't have many upgrades on my deck yesterday because it was a sealed event. I had a couple of infiltrator skill. I only put one on here. I like the keyword saboteur. +1/+1 is always nice, and it's red, so that was an easy choice. But everything else that I'm gonna go over some events that I think helped me out a lot. Power of the Dark Side. An opponent chooses a unit they control, defeat that unit. Obviously, if they only have a few things that this really kind of ruins their plans as far as like having units out on the field. uh this one's always pretty good. Deal forged 4 to a unit. Damage tactic, once you kind of ramp up and you're not really bringing in other units or things into your field, it's a good way to deal damage without losing any of your units. Precision fire. I really like this one. A unit against saboteur. For this attack, if it's a trooper, it also gets +2. As you saw, I had a bunch of cards that were troopers. So this one probably, if I would have pulled more, I would have put more of these. At least, I would have probably ran 3 in the sealed deck. Uh, you know, Cheap cost. And then this one, my favorite move of the night was this. Smoke and Cinders. It's a 5 cost event. Each player discards all but 2 cards of their choice from their hand. So I was playing a Palpatine deck. They were ramping up quickly. I had 3 cards in my hand, including this one. So I play this. Obviously, I can only choose the 2 cards that I have. My opponent had around 6, so they had to drop, like 4 cards. So I think that really that was one of the rounds that I won, and I think that move really messed them up. So these are the events and upgrades that I was pretty happy with, that I felt like I would still use in constructed. Um, I'm just gonna quickly go over some of the events that I don't think I would really use a lot in constructed. So maybe restock. Not for this deck. I think there's a place for this. I did use it one time. You get to choose 4 cards in the discard pile, put them at the bottom of their owner's deck. So I was never gonna see those cards. I only played it because I had my opponent had already claimed the initiative. So I had the resources, so I didn't want to let it go. We have Force Choke. This one's really cool, really fun. If you control a force unit, which I have, I believe 1 or 2, it costs 1 less to play. Deal 5 damage to a non-vehicle unit. That unit's controller draws a card. So obviously, I don't want my opponent drawing cards, but dealing 5 damage for 2 costs, that's a pretty good trade-off, especially in the late game. Um, Maximum firepower. I never got to use this, but I really wanted to. A friendly Imperial unit deals damage equal to its power to a unit. Then another friendly Imperial unit deals damage to its power equal to the same unit. So my plan was, once I had my Imperials buffed up, right before they died, I would play this, deal some damage out, and then maybe my opponent would hit me back, and then they would go away. But unfortunately, I never got that play off. But that was kind of the intent. And then mission briefing: choose a player. They draw 2 cards. So the way I understood this is that I could just choose myself and draw 2 cards. If that's incorrect, let me know down in the comments. I'm not an expert in the rules. I didn't get to play it, so I never got to ask the judge if that was the case. But that's kind of what I saw with this. It's kind of like a pot of greed, right? Power failure: defeat any number of upgrades on a unit. Um, because upgrade because shields and experience are upgrades in this game. this can be pretty good to get rid of a shield and then attack and do some damage. So it was on there. Just it was kind of a filler, but it was also there because I really needed it on there. And then vanquish, defeat a non-leader unit for 5. Late game, that's gonna come in handy. So there you kind of have it. That's a little recap of the deck that I played. Probably Seven Sister, really good card. I really enjoyed playing with her. Smoke and Cinders, once again, kind of a hand wipe to your opponent. Really, really cool. So yeah, overall, I had a good time with this. When I pulled 3 Krennics, I was a little upset because I was like, I had heard that Krennic's not very good. But I think, and I'll have to check a constructed way to play him. But I think it can be done. I think it would have to be the choice. I don't know if green or red would be a better color with him. So if you're playing Krennic, let me know what you're playing with in the comments. So that was really fun. So if you're playing Star Wars Unlimited, let me know down in the chat. Um, if you are in the Dallas Fort Worth area, let me know what stores you're playing at. I am always looking to kind of visit other places. But yeah, this tournament was a lot of fun. I love getting a little, getting some prize packs out of it. I'll probably be doing either a stream or just a video where I kind of go over I haven't opened any of my actual product because I wanted to focus on sealed games for now. But now that it's the games that have been out for, almost 2 weeks now, I guess no. The game's only been out a couple days, but I've played enough things that I feel like I got enough of a gist of what to look for and what I want on there. So, as always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. May the force be with you. Bye bye.